Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder that affects the lungs and the digestive system, and there is no cure. Today, thousands will be walking in Battery Park to raise money and awareness about CF. And joining us this morning is the author of the book Beyond Breathing, Margarete Cassalina. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me
I'm
here.
so happy you're here. Your book is beautiful.
Thank
Your
you.
book brought so many of us in the newsroom to tears.
Yeah.
Because it is the story of your family and your daughter Jenna, who passed away at age 13 from CF, and your son Eric is now 17, and he's doing...
Yes, he is. He's doing fairly well. He could be doing better, but thanks to walks like today, you know, the fundraising he's doing well.
And tell me a little bit more about cystic fibrosis, because a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. It affects 30,000 nationwide battle cystic fibrosis. The odd thing is that 1 in 25 people are carriers. Only 10 million people are symptomless carriers of the gene. You can't tell by looking at someone that they have cystic fibrosis. So what cystic fibrosis itself for my son and for my daughter affects their lungs, their digestive tract. Eventually the mucus builds up in their lungs so much that it causes suffocation and unfortunately fatal.
And while there is no cure, there has been a lot of progress made as far as, I mean, I think it was in 1950 the lifespan was... Yeah,
it was elementary school. It was 2 to 4 years old. When my son was diagnosed in 1991, his life expectancy was 19. In the 17 years that he's been alive, thanks to fundraising efforts, we've raised that to 37. So that's huge. It's huge because we are an orphan disease and we don't get much attention because only 30,000 are affected. We have to do what we can, like walks and fundraising efforts, to create awareness so people can attach their hearts to this disease.
And most people are diagnosed by 2 years old?
Well, right now, thanks to screen testing and newborn screen testing, thankfully that is probably about 38 to 40 states now have that you can find out at birth. Unfortunately, when my son was born, or actually fortunately, he had another way to find out he had CF. It was not available at that time. But currently, mothers are able to tell while they're pregnant, and also newborns are tested. So you can find out early and treat the symptoms very early on.
Okay, let's talk about today's walk.
Okay.
It's at Battery Park. It starts at, I believe, at 9:30?
9 o'clock, I believe, yeah. It's great. We have a whole bunch of people out there, and we really want to thank CBS for doing what they can to promote cystic fibrosis.
No, we're very excited. Our Lonnie Quinn's going to be down there. We're going to have a bit of a team down there. Tell me how long the walk is and kind of what the route is.
I'm not sure exactly the whole walk, but it's about a 3-mile walk, and we have a whole bunch of volunteers out there, and I think we have about 1,000 people at least showing up to show their support for CF.
And it looks like a lot of children involved with this walk.
Oh, yeah. Well, it does affect, again, it was mostly a child's disease, so thankfully now it's becoming more of an adult disease.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. It was so personal.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to tear up talking to you because I just loved your book so much. But, you know, it's also very inspiring.
Thank you. I didn't want to write a book. I wrote a journal. When my daughter passed away at 13, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't know how to move forward. I knew I wasn't alone in that kind of mourning. So I wrote things down, and as I wrote things down, I shared it with my friends, and they said they really liked it. But they're my friends. They have to tell me they like it. But they said it's more than your story. It's an inspirational story. You tend to be able to tell people to how to move forward when people don't want to, how they can take that next step, and then it leaves them very uplifted and a lot of hope, knowing that there is a future no matter how badly it is. I myself, my daughter is beyond breathing, and I wanted to get to a place where I was beyond just breathing, and that's how I got the title of the book.
It's a beautiful book. Margaret, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.